stimulation that the random electrical activity is giving you, which is why your dreams don't make any sense. That's the activation synthesis theory. Another theory that we have, and that's a biologically based theory, is information processing. So information processing theory is that basically your brain is trying to work out all your stress. Okay? We dream more when we're stressed, and that dreams help us sort out the day's events and consolidate our memories. So basically your brain is processing all the information that's been coming in during the day. That's information processing theory. And so it's helping you sort out the day's events, process it, put it somewhere, and consolidating our memories. So the idea is if you're under more stress, you've got more to process, right? More to figure out. And some of you were talking about yesterday how when you're dreaming, or when your dreams sometimes have like problems in it that you're dealing with them every day. You're stressed about a test. You're stressed about colleges. Like some of those things come up. So I think that's kind of interesting, this idea of information processing theory and activation synthesis. Which one do you think rings more true? What?
She said that guy looks like Obama.
He kind of does. All right, so which one do you think rings more true? The idea that it's random electrical signals, or the idea that your brain is trying to work out the day's events?
Day's events.
Day's events. Okay. Why do you say that?
Because like dreams like usually relate like too much to my life to be like not random.
Okay.
I don't think they relate to me. I just notice like when I think about something right before I go to sleep, I end up dreaming about that.
Interesting. Okay. So what do you think? Do you ever have a dream that makes absolutely no sense?
Oh yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Connor.
Wouldn't that kind of be hindsight bias in a way?
A
Like,
deep connection.
Once
Yes.
looking at these theories and then like thinking back on all the dreams that we've had and like trying to like make some sort of sense out of them to our everyday lives, even though they might just be completely random.
Yeah, I mean, they could be random, pulling from imagery that you've had that day, right? Could they not be something random? Activation synthesis, random electrical signals pulling on things that already occurred that day, so it would give it. I mean, it's hard to say. I don't know that we're ever going to know for sure. But the question is, if it's random, then is there any point doing dream analysis? Right? Because they would really have no, according to Freud, they'd have no what type of content then? Latent content. If it's information processing theory, it would be a treasure trove of latent content, probably, right? But Freud would say that all dreams, no matter how they are, that really is a level of the subconscious can be discovered through your dreams. He would say that. Yes?
But wouldn't information processing make more sense? Because, like you said, when we sleep, like, we're putting things away, like in our brain, you know, like we're sorting all our information that we learned. So wouldn't it make more sense that our brain's thinking about like, information to process?
Wouldn't it? Yeah, that's true. And think about the idea that we know that short-term memories in short-term memory get processed and stored in long-term memory during sleep, right? That those memories are further processed at night. So that's true too. I guess it's just a matter of some of the visual stimulation in your dreams, right? Some of your visual imagery that doesn't make sense. Like where is that coming from? Right? So, I mean, it's kind of like neither theory completely explains it. And so we have to figure that out. But they're interesting to think about, though. And then, of course, there's all those dream theories like, anybody in here dream that they can fly? I'm one of those people. I love those dreams where I'm flying, right? You ever had those dreams? So other people don't know what that's like. It's pretty awesome.
I feel like I have, but I don't like specifically.
You literally can take off and fly in your dreams. Great dreams. Such awesome dreams. And then there's of course the dream where you don't have clothes on.
Oh,
In a crowd or walking through a school building.
Never.
Anybody had the naked dream?
I've had that.
I've had that
I
dream.
had the dream where I randomly got naked. Like I just started taking clothes.
That's true.
Up here.
That's your weekend.
I have a lot of dreams.
What?
A lot of
Me too.
Like, I have a lot of bad dreams.
But that's not good. That makes
Megan
me
has-
sad.
Isn't it?
That's scary. Can you wake yourself up when you're having a bad dream?
Yeah.
No,
I do.
But one time I had a dream someone was strangling me.
Sometimes
and
I
then
wake
I
up
woke up and I was like,
When I was wow.
Wait,
When I was younger and I got sick, like how I knew I was sick, I had like a recurring nightmare anytime I would get sick where like it was like an army and it was like so dusty I couldn't see anything, but like these giants were sticking needles in my eyes.
I always
Oh.
That sounds
My
terrifying.
so I have 2 recurring dreams. Like why do we have recurring like sometimes
Would not recurring dream be this? Your brain's trying to figure something out?
no, but I like that was so weird. I had 2 of them like every year. Like I would always have them around a certain time. I don't have them.
Well,
Oh,
can you
really?
imagine?
They were
Wait a minute.
so
Can
scary.
you imagine though? Because we always think Freud is a complete nut, right, for the most part. But can you see where he would be interviewing case studies and he would hear things and the idea of latent content, manifest content would come out? Like, can you see where he would use anecdotal evidence and case studies and might get some ideas for some of his theories, right? If you're having a recurring dream, would that not imply that there's something in your subconscious you're trying to work out? Like, I can see him making that leap. That's kind of interesting. All right, but the thing about dreams is we know it's related to cognitive development, right? So dreams content reflect our cognitive development, our knowledge and understanding of what's going on. And some people say, you know what, dreams are simply part of the brain's maturation process, the brain's developmental process. The way you dream when you're little is not necessarily the way you dream when you're an adult. The dreams kind of change. You notice that small children tend to have a lot more nightmares, right? Did any of you have really bad nightmares when you were little? And you may have a nightmare now, but not the same
Oh, no.
that you did then, right? The same. You're still there. Julie, you're
It's
stuck.
always like a. Oh, I'm always.
Is it a recurring nightmare?
No, it's like it only happens every once in a while, but like when it does, oh man, it's like okay, like there's well, there's 2. I mean, and it's not like much anymore, but like it's been a while, but
Right.
like it's always either I'm at my grandparents' house and there's a tornado because like they're in Florida, so
That's
it's like
terrifying,
a 1-story
yeah.
like and like I hate tornadoes
Yeah.
and everything like that. Or like when I was little, it was always like Maleficent.
Oh.
So really, like I was getting taken.
You spent a little too
I
long
was-
watching Disney movies?
Such a realistic.
Hold on a second.
Like
Jane,
What if you have like the same dream as
same dream
Oh.
as somebody else?
That's
yeah,
a good
because
one.
one time after my parents got married, they both had the same dream, like on the same night. And they were like on a beach and it was really calm and like everything around them was like chaotic, but they were just like sitting on the beach.
So-
and it was very calm.
Oh, isn't that really sweet after they got
cute.
married?
It's cool. It's
So-
kind of sad, but it's weird.
My aunt and my cousin both had
Wait,
the same
We're in a
dream.
Catholic school. What could we
Oh, yeah,
attribute
my
that
sister-
to?
Yeah. That's
Maybe that's divine
Amy,
intervention.
don't get a
My
butterfly
sister
tattoo.
and I had the same
Hold on.
dream on the same night that my mom died.
Okay, that is really horrible.
Oh my God,
I'm
I
really
remember
sad
that.
to hear about
Scared.
Okay,
I remember that.
you all need some
Megan.
therapy. I'm thinking everyone in here needs a little therapy. Okay. You have some latent content that we need to discover. So let's talk about how we might discover latent content. Some people say we need to use hypnosis. Okay, hypnosis. So let's talk about hypnosis. I want everybody to close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes. Stop doing what you're doing. Close your eyes. And imagine, see it in your mind, that you are cutting through a lemon. A large, sour, bitter lemon. A large, sour, bitter lemon. So full of juice that as you're cutting it, the juice drips over your fingers onto the floor. Now imagine sucking the juice from the lemon. So what is happening? Are you salivating more?
Yes.
So open your eyes. So that experience, right? You can visualize it, right? So what starts to happen as you're visualizing it?
Your body kind of prepares for it.
Your body kind of responds to it, right? So the idea is, does this mimic hypnotic suggestion?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just saying, it could, right? The idea is, see how easily you were able to make yourself salivate by thinking about a lemon, right? Hypnotic suggestion can be similar. What made that little demonstration I just did with you with the lemon work? What made that more vivid? Maybe you've experienced it before. What else?
The nitty-gritty characteristics.
The details, right? Me saying it's sour, juice, like the details, right? So hypnosis, when people use hypnosis, it's not that you're losing control. Okay, it has to do with your susceptibility to suggestion and how willing you are to go forward with the process. Huh? They actually say if you're one of these people that can really has a rich fantasy life or daydream, really likes to daydream, that you can be more susceptible to hypnosis. We'll talk about that. Yeah, so it's a matter of can you let yourself go to those places. We'll talk about how hypnosis works. So, talking about this, hypnosis, is it really an altered state of consciousness? And how does that work? Is it a post-hypnotic suggestion? By the way, hypnosis doesn't always involve the little, stopwatch, going back and forth, watch the clock. No. Hypnosis really involves just deep relaxation. And the power of hypnosis resides in the subject's openness to suggestion. How open are you to suggestion? And it's about helping the patient harness their own healing powers, his or her own healing powers. And almost everyone or almost anyone can experience hypnotic susceptibility if they are led to expect it. Like if I say, Francesca, I believe you are able to be hypnotized. And then when I go through that process, if she's led to believe that can happen, most likely she can be open to hypnotic susceptibility and suggestion.
How does that work when you go hypnotize people who stop smoking?
Okay, so that's interesting. So we're going to talk about that. There are some types of, so there are medical hypnotists that literally work on helping to alleviate pain. It's like it's how to harness your own brain's ability to heal itself or to deal with something. Okay? So there is something called and you do need to know this, the Stanford Hypnotic Susceptibility Scale. And this says how easily you are able to be hypnotized. Is there a test online? You want to know, right?
I was serious.
No, I don't believe there. There might be an online adapted version, but I've not noticed this. This was developed by Ernest Hilgard,
I want to take it.
which I believe I think he is mentioned in your book. Ernest Hilgard?
Yes.
Okay. Ernest Hilgard developed this. And so basically it says this is a scale to determine how susceptible someone is to hypnosis and whether or not it's an effective method for them. So post-hypnotic suggestion is something used by hypnotherapists. Hypnotherapists, you will find them out in the community. They help alleviate medical conditions like headaches, asthma, and stress-related disorders. They do a really good job with that. Surprisingly, medical hypnotherapy is very helpful with obesity, but not as helpful with addictions like drugs, alcohol, and smoking. It has limited success in drugs, alcohol, and smoking, but does seem to help with obesity and pain.
How would that work with obesity?
Helping to suggest people to change their eating habits. They're open to suggestion about choosing different foods or different things. It's interesting. The average client whose therapy included hypnosis showed greater improvement than 70% of other therapy patients. So again, the average client whose therapy included hypnosis, had that additional piece of hypnosis, showed a greater improvement than 70% of people who had therapies that did not include hypnosis. So medical hypnotherapy does appear to work, and I can tell you I used it when I was pregnant with my son because I had such horrible morning sickness. We had tried everything. And another person said, there is a medical hypnotherapist who deals with morning sickness. Go see her. It changed my life. So I went to the medical hypnotherapist, and it did help reduce my morning sickness symptoms. I will say that. Yes.
Like if you know you're being treated by hypnosis, couldn't you like snap out of it?
You could, and it's not like you're out of it. Like you're not, it's kind of like, remember when we did deep relaxation and flexibility training? It's kind of like that state. It's like you're giving yourself statements. It's like you're talking it's like you're using mind over matter.
What did she do to you?
What did she do? I sat. She went through a period where we went through deep, like you count back to a certain period of time, you get in a relaxed state, and you start talking about like anti-nausea. Like I feel well. Like you get basically you're talking your brain out of your symptoms. It's a mind over matter type of thing.
Was it like really effective?
For me, it was pretty effective, and I had a tape of it. So whenever I started feeling really nauseous, I would play the tape and I would kind of use it. I had like self-hypnosis with that. I try to talk myself through feeling better.
When you're pregnant, is it really bad in the morning?
Depends on the person. Some people have none. Some people are sick
No,
like
is it
me
bad
for
for
6
your
months. No. Unless you get really dehydrated, then it can be. Yeah.
We do deep relaxation again.
Will we do that again sometime? Did I ever do that with this
Yeah.
group, this whole class?
No.
We should do it.
We will
You
do it.
did it,
We'll do
like-
it during the stress.
Yeah, you did it during exams, like our freshman year.
I do it during
awesome.
exams, and I usually do it during the stress unit, because it's a
Okay.
stress relieving technique. The relaxation, the progressive relaxation of your body. So I'll probably do it during that.
Mhm.
Okay,
It makes me so
Um,
happy.
I'll make that available. I was thinking about doing it, and maybe right before the holidays. I'll do it because everyone's so stressed.
Where do you do it?
Um, What?
We've done it in here before.
We've done it in this room. Remember, we used to do it in this room. Anyway, 10% of people can be deeply hypnotized. I just think you should know that. 10% of our population can be deeply hypnotized. This is really fascinating. They can undergo surgery without anesthesia.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Whoa.
Think about that. Hypnosis can relieve pain, and people who are under hypnosis can actually recover faster from surgery than people that don't. These people that are able to be deeply hypnotized can undergo surgery without anesthesia. That's how much they are able to harness the power of mind over matter. That is fascinating.
But wouldn't they
I
snap out
don't
of it?
understand it.
No, because you have to be open to it. You have to believe that it will work.
Is that like a
There's
game?
It's almost like the placebo effect if you
What
think
they
about
do.
it that way,
Yeah, I was
right?
thinking.
So like their weight, they know they're getting cut into.
No, they're deeply relaxed.
So they
Well, like,
So it's just like I don't get like the hypnotist. Like there is like one on like what is that show called?
Not these people that make you dance like a chicken. Okay, like when
no,
you
I
just,
know, but I don't get those either. Like
those are people that are highly susceptible. So think about that.
Well, like they were. It was on like that show, America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
It's great.
But understand that some people, the bottom line is that what they usually show in studies with hypnosis is that you cannot be made to do embarrassing things unless you want to. Like if your will is like, I'm not going to let this person make me do something embarrassing, usually a hypnotist cannot, even if you're under hypnosis, get you to do something that will embarrass you. Like you have to be willing and open. Like usually, I mean, it's not like they have mind control. Like
But
people
they
who
said-
do these things are
But
in
they
some
said
level
they couldn't
open to
show
do it.
They couldn't show that them actually hypnotizing the person on TV because otherwise people at home would get hypnotized. Oh please.
Thank you. Right. So anyway, let's move on to what hypnotic theories are like. Okay. Yes.
What does it have? Like, what is hypnosis? I guess how is it viewed in the Catholic Church? Is there
You know,
like, a
I don't
stance on
really
it?
know. I don't really know.
Because like I feel like they wouldn't support that because you're out of your own. Like you don't have
You
control
lose
over
free
your
will,
body. Yeah.
but most medical hypnotherapists believe that you're actually harnessing your own will.
I guess medically. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
in a medical state, you're
Yeah.
harnessing your own will.
Okay.
So that would be the piece. If you were giving up your will to someone else, I would think the church would be against it, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But if you are believing that this person is helping you harness your own will for something good, like better health or whatever,
Mhm.
then I would believe it's not. Yeah, as long
Okay.
as you're. Yeah, I would think as long as the theory is to help you support and help in enhancing your own will in a positive and healthy way. I would think. I don't know, but that would
Yeah.
seem to be that would be okay with the church. I've never seen anything about medical.
Yeah,
hypnosis.
me neither. That's why I was just.
I mean, don't be wrong. Anything that goes down the New Age path, right? That's talking about other stuff. Because you'll see that too. I mean, you've got some real interesting people out in the world, right? And so it's just like anything else. You need to make sure you study the credibility of people and you know who is leading you, right? And what their intentions are. But medical hypnotherapists that are really out there that are associated with medical practices and things like that, I mean, they go through a pretty rigorous medical training process. And it's not about like, you know, opening you up to the power of sleep. It's just different. It's about harnessing your own power.
Gotcha.
Okay, your own will. So, all right. So hypnotic theories, there's two. There's the role theory and the state theory. And under the role theory, here's what we've got about the role theory. I think this is interesting. So, Amy, this would apply to what you were saying. So this says hypnosis is not an altered state of consciousness, okay? That different people have different levels of susceptibility, hypnotic susceptibility, and that this is the fun part. It's a social phenomenon where people want to believe. So it's like a group dynamic. People want to believe it works, so it works. And it works better on people with richer fantasy lives because they're more willing to play along. They're more willing to play along. Okay? State theory is where the medical hypnotherapists work. They're on that side. It says it is an altered state of consciousness, so it's in that level between sleep and wakefulness. And they believe that it has dramatic health benefits and that it works for pain best. Okay? You'll see medical hypnotherapists that work with people that have life-threatening illnesses to try to harness the immune system to fight illness, to fight cancer, to fight other things. Really interesting. But it does seem to work really well with pain management. Think about what we know about gate control theory of pain. If you could harness your brain's ability to close the gate, how powerful that could be. Okay, so different theories. So the people on America's Got Talent are following under this role theory, okay? These are people that are susceptible, that believe, they want to believe that hypnosis works, and so therefore they give over to it, okay? They give into it. But people that believe in state theory say, look, this is about getting you into a deeply relaxed state and helping you harness your own brain's healing powers. And again, doesn't seem to work as well for addictions because the addiction center of the brain is so strong, right? But does seem to work for things like pain and other lifestyle management, which would make sense that, for my case, morning sickness. Like, that's like a pain. That's similar like pain, right? That's a symptom. So it's kind of, and I will tell you, it kind of falls with this next part. The last piece we're going to do is dissociation theory. It really works well with this, and this is developed by Ernest Hilgard. And this is, we have parts of our consciousness that we divide up, okay? And he did this great ice water experiment, right? And it says, you always have this level of the hiddenness, or what it calls about, that's always aware. So the idea with the dissociation theory is that, for example, when you're driving, everyone in here drives? Yes?
Yeah.
Have you ever started daydreaming while you're driving?
Yeah.
You start thinking about something else, but yet you're still driving. How did I get there? But you're still driving, right? That's a form of disassociation. It's like parallel processing. You're doing two things at once. This idea with hypnosis is that you can disassociate. So it's almost like when we said, remember blowing on a kissing a boo-boo, blowing on a cut, right? It gives your brain something else, another stimulus to focus on and block the pain. It's a similar idea. So with the ice water experiment, the patient puts their hand in an ice bath, and they're told they're not going to feel any pain. But under hypnosis, they'll say, I don't feel any pain. But when they're told to press a key, if some part of their brain feels pain, they press the key. So it's like one part of their brain goes, I feel pain. But the other part says they don't feel pain. So it's like two things are happening at once. Disassociation. Laughing. That would be like you guys. Okay, thank you. So we'll talk about drugs and I'll finish this up tomorrow.